Honorable adjudicators, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ahmad Arfi Alfariski from SMEN 1 Bancha. Today, I stand firmly against the motion. This House will give social service and skill training for gambling offenders rather than imprisonment. At first glance, this proposal may sound noble. Rehabilitation, social service, and skill training appear to be progressive solutions for offenders. However, when I examine the issue deeper, I will see that replacing imprisonment entirely with these measures is both dangerous and impractical. The stance today is based on three main grounds: deterrence, justice, and practicality. The first reason is deterrence. Laws are made not only to punish but also to prevent people from committing crimes in the first place. Gambling, especially illegal gambling, is not a small harmless act. It is often connected to money laundering, loan shark, fraud, and even organized crime networks. If the punishment for gambling is reduced merely to social service or skill training, what message are we sending to society? That gambling is not a serious crime? That if someone gambles illegally, they will only receive free training instead of jail time. This will weaken the deterrent effect of the law. Without real consequences, offenders will not be discouraged, I'm sorry, be discouraged from repeating the same mistake, and new offenders will not be prevented from starting. Imprisonment, talk strict, serves as a clear signal that gambling is a serious violation with severe consequences. Second, we must uphold the principle of justice. Offenders must be held accountable for their choices. Gambling does not only harm the individual gamblers, it destroys families, leaves children without financial support, and drives some people into debt traps. In some cases, it also leads to domestic violence, theft, and other crimes just to cover gambling losses. Now, imagine the perspective of the victims, the spouses, the children, and the families who suffer because of gambling addiction. How would they feel if the government responded to offender not with punishment, but with training programs and community service? This could be seen as rewarding criminals instead of holding them responsible. Skill training is a privilege, an opportunity that many law-abiding citizens do not even receive. Why should offenders who break the law be prioritized to receive these benefits while hardworking citizens are left behind? This undermines the fairness of justice and sends the wrong signal to the public. Crime brings opportunity. Third, let us consider the practical reality. Implementing large-scale social service and skill training program for offenders requires significant funding, manpower, and strict monitoring system. Governments in many countries are already struggling with limited budget for education, healthcare, and social welfare. Should taxpayer money be spent on providing offenders with new skills and opportunities, while many honest citizens cannot afford the same training? This creates inequality and resentment. Moreover, the effectiveness of such program is questionable without the structure and discipline that imprisonment can provide. In prisons, rehabilitation and vocational training can still be conducted. But within a controlled environment where offenders also face the consequences of their crimes, simply removing imprisonment entirely will make the system weak, expensive, and ineffective. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, this law should not replace imprisonment with social service and skill training for gambling offenders. Such a policy would weaken the deterrence of the law, undermine the principle of justice, and burden society with impractical costs. Rehabilitation can and should assist, but it must be integrated with accountability, not replace it. For the sake of justice, deterrence, and the protection of society, I stand firmly to oppose this motion. Thank you.